when we confuse our patriotism with tribal rivalries that have sown resentment and hatred and violence in all the corners of the globe. We weaken it when we hide behind walls rather than tear them down.
Late in the afternoon, the president's statement about McCain. Despite our differences on policy and politics, I respect Senator John McCain's service to our country and in his honor have signed a proclamation to fly the flag of the United States at half staff until the day of his interment. Bob Costantini, Washington.
The suspect who killed 2 people at a video game tournament in Jacksonville, Florida, before turning the gun on himself, took aim at certain victims. Correspondent Drew Griffin.
We know that David Katz targeted those gamers specifically because the sheriff has the surveillance tape of the shooting. The 24-year-old went to that contest apparently with 2 guns that were recently purchased, and the sheriff says he passed several people before focusing on the gamers themselves.
Pope Francis has no comment about an archbishop's call for him to resign over his handling of sexual abuse allegations against a U.S. cardinal in 2013. Correspondent Polo Sandoval on former Vatican ambassador to the U.S. Carlo Maria Vigano.
Vigano claims that there are dozens of Vatican officials, all the way up to the Pope, who ignored and knew about these sex abuse allegations against Cardinal Theodore McCarrick. If you remember him, he was removed from the ministry last month and forced to resign.
On Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average rose 259 points. The S&P gained 22. The Nasdaq up 72, both at record closes. I'm Ann Cates.
Hey folks, sexy liberal Stephanie Miller here. Most new Wisconsin jobs are in Dane County, it's true. Some of my listeners are relocating to Madison. Many already commute there. When asked where to turn for a trusted real estate team that understands Madison, I say the same thing. Solidarity Realty. They help you through the process and protect your consumer rights. They live their values, building community, promoting sustainability and diversity. Find them today at solidarityrealty.com and tell them Stephanie Miller sent you.
We got Mark Pocan, live via phone. Mark, does Paul Ryan hate poor people?
Oh, he hates poor people and middle-class people. I mean, I think when he was probably 5 years old playing with Play-Doh, trying to, adjust the taxes on Play-Doh. And so, to be fair, I think he's doing what he always said he was going to do. It's just no one actually believed he was either that cruel, evil, or dumb to do it.
The Devil's Advocates, weekday afternoons on 1510 a.m., Wisconsin's Resistance Radio. 7.
A history-making day at the start of the U.S. Open tennis tournament in New York.
For the first time in the Open era, a number 1 seed goes out in the first round.
Courtesy of ESPN, that number 1 seed and the world's number 1 ranked women's player, Simona Halep, fell victim to an upset by Kaia Kanepi 6-2, 6-4 in what was a lopsided match from start to finish. Halep had high hopes for this tournament, coming off her first Grand Slam title at the French Open back in June. Instead, she exits the U.S. Open in the opening round for the second straight year, but for the first time as the number 1 seed. I'm TJ Coutini.
The CEO of Uber is encouraging customers to book bicycles instead of cars for short urban trips, even if that costs his company revenue. Uber launched an electric bike option in February in San Francisco and has expanded the offering to a handful of other American cities. I'm Ann Cates.
Five9, your local single-source IT solutions provider, specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy five9s.com.
Tweens have mastered the art of tuning out. Jen, there's a spider in the car. We're turning your room into a home gym. See? Nothing. But some messages need to get through, like making sure they're buckled up the whole ride, every time. Do whatever it takes to make your child listen. Jen, I friended your boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Buckle up, sweetie.
Never give up until they buckle up. Learn more at safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Donna from Louisiana. The storm just hit, and we went from donating to the food bank to needing it.
Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org. Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. The head of a Wisconsin craft alcohol group says a legislative committee working to clarify the state's alcohol laws are stacked against small breweries, wineries, and distilleries. Will Glass, a brewer and president of Wisconsin Craft Beverage Coalition, says the Legislative Study Committee on Alcohol Beverage Enforcement is heading in the wrong direction. The committee was formed earlier this year to clarify the state's alcohol law. Glass said consumers should be driving the market, not legislature. Rain ending this morning, partly sunny this afternoon, highs in the upper 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy with a chance of early morning rain, lows in the mid-70s. Tuesday, partly sunny with a chance of afternoon showers, highs in the mid-80s. Wednesday, clearing skies, cooler with highs around 70 degrees. For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted.
The following program is a presentation of DC Communications, LLC. Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves' corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Kroot.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dominic, we are sliding into the 5 o'clock happy hour right here on Brady Street. It ain't quite Harley Fest yet, but it's coming up later this week. Is it not?
It's going to be a party down here, man. I can't wait.
115th anniversary.
And if you're President Trump, boycott him. Or if you're not President Trump, come down and celebrate the 115th year anniversary of an American icon.
Here's what I will promise you, although I will not be here necessarily to greet you personally at the door. But if you come down and you come a knocking during Harley Fest, I'll give you a Resist Trump bumper sticker.
Ooh, stick it on the bike.
Throw it on the Harley.
It looks great on
Or the
Harley.
Kawasaki.
Come on, man.
Or the Vespa scooter. We don't care.
Whatever it takes, coming down and celebrate with us.
Dominic, here's one thing I'd like to say about Trump. He's classy with a K. I mean, this man oozes class. Senator John McCain dies over the course of the weekend. And has Trump said anything nice verbally? Has he even said the name John McCain?
He did. He actually issued a statement.
But did he say... I mean, he's been questioned for
No, he
a day and a
ignored
half.
almost a dozen shouted questions today when he had an opportunity to verbally comment. He did not, but he did say in a statement when, they put the flag back to half-staff, despite our differences on policy and politics, I respect Senator John McCain's service to our country and, in his honor, have signed a proclamation to fly the flag of the United States at half-staff until the day of his internment.
So Corporal Bone Spurs respects McCain's service to his country?
So he says.
Wasn't he also the disrespectful bastard that said, I like my guys, my veterans who don't get caught by the enemy?
Yes, he is.
I mean, who insults a war hero? And why was there no political price to pay for his assault on the hero status of John McCain? Now, John McCain, I'm not a huge fan, political John McCain. But soldier John McCain, POW John McCain?
Right.
Should we not do a little more than respect his service? And you talked about the flag.
But a man is more than his service, Crudy, and certainly he was a young man at the time, but he has a legislative record to go on after that. What do you think of that legislative record?
I'm not a huge fan. I think he's a war hawk.
Oh, okay, so. And I think
is that Trump's issue and contention?
Well, I think this is one of my issues, and we haven't really talked about this, Crudy. And again, I think this is a complex issue. But the man who was captured
Don't hurt yourself.
during Vietnam and stayed there when he could have gone home. I mean, wow, that is war hero status, no question about it. The man who, after that experience, continued to be a war hawk, an interventionist, to continue to fund the military to the degree that they did as a Republican, I take some umbrage with. So that's the same man. Can you be complimentary and critical at the same time?
Sure. I can acknowledge and honor his service and his time as a POW. I think the guy got tortured.
Yes, he did.
But also wonder why he, was still the same guy that was all down for war. Bomb, Iran. As hawkish as the next guy, let's just say.
Or more so.
But John McCain has done some things. John McCain, what was it? Part of the Keating 8. Let's not forget his days as a corrupted young man in the U.S. Senate.
The savings and loan scandal. Yes.
But he was also the guy that joined with Russ Feingold, McCain-Feingold. He tried to reform campaign finance laws. That was an effort. That was a bipartisan effort. He was also, if you'll recall, the one that Trump blames because he put the thumbs down on the repeal of Obamacare. Now, I'm not saying that redeems him, but, again, a nuanced, complex human being like you.
Not like
there
me.
are things to love and things to like less.
No, I mean, there's no doubt about it. No doubt that man put his life on the line for his country. No question. He came from a military stock. I think his father and his grandfather were both admirals, and he did a heroic thing. But, in the sum of a man's life, of anyone's life, it's not just what you did, when you were 30. It's what did you do since then? And certainly I think a lot of people, I am one of them. I don't know how other people are, Crudy. I don't know how you feel about it or Brian feels about it, but I'm conflicted because you can't help when you see the video, the footage of him getting interviewed, knowing he's going to be tortured, knowing he's sacrificing himself in Vietnam, but then look to see what he did after the fact, and how could you want to continue the wars to the degree that we have since then, to funding the military to the degrees that we have. And sure, he did the thumbs down on the ACA repeal, but that doesn't make up for all those other things. And I get it, you don't want to speak ill of the dead, right? I think that's a good thing generally. But when a man has a legislative record, we have to look at it. And if you are not for the next war or the previous war, wars of choice, well, then you can't be supportive of a guy like John McCain.
The thing I will never forgive John McCain. What? I will never forgive him. Sarah Palin. You betcha dare, hey.
What are you talking about?
John McCain effectively, out of political expediency, undermined his own candidacy for the presidency of the United States. Sarah Palin was what? She was a prop. She was a tool. And I'm not talking about like a Dan Quayle kind of tool. I mean, sure, even Tim Kaine was a triangulation of sort. But when you put, a half-term gubernatorial candidate on as your sidecar, and her biggest prior office holding prior to that was mayor of Wasilla, the meth capital of Alaska, she was not qualified to be the vice president of the United States. And Miss Going Rogue undermined democracy to some small way. She made it more acceptable to put a reality TV star out there and call it a politician. She helped pave the way for Donald Trump.
No, hell no. McCain, that choice of Sarah Palin is what brought the presidency. Or one big thing from that side. Certainly Barack Obama had his own merits. But that decision did not help McCain.
Initially, it did. Initially, it helped him garner higher polling until she went rogue, till she went off the reservation.
Until she opened her mouth?
Well, the Katie Couric interview didn't help much.
I read everything.
She was completely unprepared to be the president should he pass.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think the media coverage of McCain's death has been adequate, not enough, or overblown?
This weekend there was a lot of coverage, let's just say. I mean, typically, it's one of 100 senators. And this guy was a war hero and a POW, and a presidential nominee on behalf of his party. So I would expect no less. But relatively speaking, other than Donald Trump raising the American flag less than 48 hours after his death against U.S. custom, and then lowering the flag with a respectful proclamation today, I mean, Donald Trump has even stolen the news cycle of John McCain's death. Now it's become about Donald Trump and his reaction to John McCain's death.
But that's always the case with the president. I mean, but as far as the media coverage is concerned, it seemed like quite a lot. And I don't remember specifically when Teddy Kennedy passed away. I mean, there was a lot. I know there was, but it just, I don't know, maybe we're just, knee deep into this now. It just seemed like a lot.
It was much more consequential in some way, shape, or form. Scott Brown was elected to fill his seat, right? And you had to get Obamacare through. And no one saw, I mean, Ted Kennedy died of the very same brain cancer that took John McCain exactly 9 years later. And they were close friends. But we needed the vote, right? Scott Brown was not a vote for Obamacare. So it was a much more consequential time. Now, here's the consequential time we live in. Of course, it's who's going to have the courage to stand up to Donald Trump? The other senator, I see him right now on the CNN, the other senator from Arizona, Jeff Flake, well, he's retiring as well. Spending more time with family.
Getting out of the show.
Getting out of the show, as our young friend Sarah Pearson mentioned. The you-know-what show. So real courage is standing up to a president like Donald Trump. And if you lose the last of the courageous Republicans,
real courage,
what's left?
Real courage is going to a war like Vietnam and staying in the Hanoi
present.
Hilton.
Sure.
I mean, to stand up to a political opponent or an ideological ally, that is not heroic. I'm sorry. I don't find
certainly
that.
Not on the same level.
Hell, not even close.
Where's
representing your constituency? Oh, he stood up to Trump. Whatever.
I don't know that many of the Republicans currently serving in Congress or the Senate have ever served their country, period, aside from, whatever you call their current service to the Freedom Caucus. But they even lack for the courage to stand up and stand away from their president. I mean, this unindicted co-conspirator. I mean, we're moving beyond the point where you can ignore it and say, well, it's a witch hunt. I mean, we're getting beyond the witch hunt point. When you've got confessions and pleadings of guilt and convictions, we're getting a little beyond the witch hunt phase. I mean, it's starting to ring true. And it's, I don't mean for guys like you and I. I'm talking about for our conservative friends out there. I got to think there are a couple of conservatives that have seen the recent headlines in the last week and said, it's starting to get a little real. Well, what about congressional courage? We know Paul Ryan's abandoning ship. We know he's getting the hell out. Where's the real courage going to come from? And there'll be a decision.
There's no courage in the Republican Party.
I don't have
this is Trump's party now.
I don't have this article in front of me, and let's take a quick break here, but I want to talk about when we come back. Paul Ryan. The question's going to become, do you have any decency, sir? Because they have threatened to impeach Rod Rosenstein, a sub-cabinet member. I mean, that's not normal stuff. You don't go impeaching them. And, of course, what are the House Intelligence Committee members seeking? They're seeking documents on an active investigation of whether or not Trump colluded with Russia. And the failure of the acting assistant attorney general, the guy overseeing the Mueller investigation, to produce those documents. And the question will be, in the month of September, will there be a vote on the floor? Because all this is about is really about giving Donald Trump cover to fire Rosenstein and then whatever might come next, right? Hell, Lindsey Graham threw his buddy overboard this weekend. He basically, gave Trump permission?
Look, you can fire Rosenstein. You can fire Mueller. The investigation will continue. You cannot fire
everybody. But my question is, does Paul Ryan have the courage, or will Paul Ryan bring this impeachment action to the floor?
There is no courage in the Trump party, man. This is their guy. They're going to delay as much as possible and try to get past the midterms and then worry about it then.
We are Devil's Advocates, Real Resistance Radio. Phone lines open, 844-967-2789. We'll be right back.
I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. Whoever says that is a stupid idiot.
The irony is a little rich here these days.
You concerned about speaking up at work? Do you feel like you have no say in your day-to-day work routine? Join Teamsters Local 344. Call 414-258-4545. Get a seat at the table. Join your brothers and sisters in negotiating for better wages, hours, and working conditions, and be part of the most powerful union in North America. Teamsters Local 344 covers sales and service throughout Southeast Wisconsin and package and airlines statewide. Contact Teamsters Local 344 at 414-258-4545 or at local344.org.
Here at Bounce Milwaukee, we not only want families and friends to build connections, we also want to grow those connections in our community. That's why every Wednesday night from 5 to 8 p.m., we host Refuel the Resistance. It's a great chance to have a drink in our arcade bar, try something from our fantastic restaurant, connect with progressive activists, and support local organizations. For more information about Bounce Milwaukee's Refuel the Resistance, visit us at bouncemilwaukee.com or call 414-312-4357.
Hi, it's Scott Walker.
Scott, David Koch. How are you?
Hey, David. I'm good. And yourself?
I'm very well.
On February 22, 2011, Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker took a call from journalist Ian Murphy pretending to be billionaire political activist David Koch.
What we were thinking about the crowds was planting some troublemakers.
You know, the only problem with because we thought about that.
You just heard Wisconsin Governor Scott Walker say he actually considered planting troublemakers. Scott Walker wrote in his book, "The fact is we never considered putting troublemakers in the crowd to discredit the protesters." He concluded by saying, "But I had made it seem like we had." Call Scott Walker at 608-266-1212. Ask him if he lies to his friends, is he lying to you?
Well, I'll tell you what, Scott. Once you crush these bastards, I'll fly you out to Cali and really show you a good time.
All right, that would be outstanding.
This message paid for by the People for People Corporation. Brad Zog, owner of Zero Res Madison. Brad, why should people use Zero Res Madison?
Why wouldn't you clean your carpets like this? We've got a patented system. We also do another step that most people don't do. We have a double rotating brush machine that we use when we pre-treat the carpet. So this helps dig up any of that stuff that's deeper in your carpet that the vacuum doesn't get. We're going to provide that intermediary step before we clean with our empowered water.
Call Zero Res today, 608-848-9000. Zero Res. Spell it forward or backward. It's the right way to clean.
Have you outgrown your house? Are you sick of apartment living? Not ready to buy but know you need to move? Hi, folks. This is Tom Hartman for CCL Management in Middleton. You should consider moving up to one of the finer rental homes CCL Management represents. Unique houses and condos, always clean, most are pet-friendly. Visit cclmanagement.com today to find your new home. CCL Management, Dane County's premier leasing and property management company.
Call CCL Management at 833-0009. That's 833-0009. Or visit cclmanagement.com today.
Imagine being fired because of who you love. Imagine being denied medical treatment because of who you marry. Imagine being evicted because of who you are. Millions of Americans don't have to imagine this. They have to live it. Because in 31 states, it's legal to discriminate against LGBT people. Get the facts at beyondido.org. Brought to you by the Gill Foundation and the Ad Council.
The Earl Ingram Show. Join me at a new time, weekday mornings, for the Earl Ingram Show, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on Real Resistance Radio, Monday through Friday, and as always, Saturdays noon to 3. The Earl Ingram Show, streaming live at realresistanceradio.com. Don't miss it. Voice of the voiceless, champion of the working class, the Earl Ingram Show.
The Devil's Advocates. Rock and roll political commentary in a top 40 world.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show on Real Resistance Radio, streaming on YouTube and Facebook. I think it's all working now. On Twitter at Devil Radio. You can join us on the party line, toll free, 844-967-2789.
Man's always trying to shut us down, Dom. You know, when you're a Real Resistance Radio, you got to be careful. Everyone could be a perceived enemy We are enemies of the state.
Oh, come on, man. We're nothing but a couple of lovers. Enemies of the state. What are you talking about?
I'm saying Trump would classify you especially as an enemy of the state. It's the haircut.
Trump loves me, man.
And the scruffy beard.
Trump loves me.
Yeah, you made him the man that he is.
Let's get to some phone calls. Wisco Paul, you are up. Happy Monday. What do you got for us today?
Hey, Paul.
Hey, you devils. Thanks for taking my call as always. I just had a comment. Love him or hate him. McCain loved this country, and that's more than I can say about the president guy. The president guy in the White House. And so they did the right thing. The flags will be half-mast until internment for Senator McCain, and that makes me feel a lot better. I do want to say one more thing, off topic a little bit, but I do love your last political commercial. Calling union men bastards is as low as you can go. And thank you, devils, for all you do. Have a great day.
Thanks, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
A
Appreciate
good
that.
union man himself, our buddy Wisco Paul, been calling round to our unions. Got to remind him, got a little Labor Fest coming up on Monday.
Yeah, Labor Day coming up.
Harley Fest, Labor Fest.
That particular commercial or advertisement, educational note, as provided by our friends over at the People for People Corporation. One of the first ones they did, and I still think one of the best. I mean, when Scott Walker got totally punked into that phone call and literally trying to kiss ass after it was suggested to him to plant troublemakers into the crowd, went along with it. Yeah, we thought about that. And of course, now in his book he said he didn't. I don't know which lie to believe. He did or he didn't. But it goes to show you the mentality of Scott Walker. He will do anything for money. He will lie to the Koch brothers if he thinks that'll get him some money. That's what this guy is all about.
He didn't lie to the Koch brothers. He told them the truth. Of course he considered putting troublemakers in the crowd, man.
But his book said he didn't.
Well,
which lie do you believe?
I am more worried about his criminal coordination. I saw an ad today. Vote against Tony Evers, Americans for Prosperity. That is an express advocacy ad. Americans for Prosperity, that is the Koch brothers. He's coordinating with express advocacy groups. That's still a bright legal line, and he's crossing it again. Come back with us. We are the Devil's Advocates. Phone lines open all the way here to the getting home time, the quitting time, whatever you call 6 o'clock Central. 844-967-2789. Call or text works. Got to keep Dom on his toes.
Did you ask me a question?
They'd like to take me out for a lot of reasons far bigger than just this election.
5 your local single-source IT solutions provider, specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy 59s.com.
Looking for a job worth talking about? Teaching is creative, collaborative, and intellectually challenging. See why teachers have better work stories at teachdfw.org and learn more about becoming a teacher. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Juice, Mom! Juice, juice, juice! Mommy, why are we going to the store? Mom, I want juice! Mom! Juice, juice, juice! Mom!
Your child will have different needs at different stages of life, and that includes the car seat. See, car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. If Scott Walker were made of cheese, would you eat him? I don't know, and I don't want to find out. That's why I listen to Real Resistance Radio.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
I'm jumping in with my clothes on.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
It's a lot easier to measure how many times students use a semicolon correctly in an essay.
Educated educators talking education.
Than it is to measure how many wonderful ideas are in that essay.
Busted Pencils.
There is no teacher shortage.
With Dr. Tim Slecker.
There is a teacher exit.
Featuring Matt Damon's mom.
You want to know what my mom would say?
We've had an intrusion into education.
Busted Pencils Radio. Saturdays at 11 on Resistance Radio.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. The city of Milwaukee is asking a judge to order that the rental properties owned by notorious Central City landlord Elijah Rashad be sold immediately. The city is also asking a judge to cite Rashad for contempt of court. Attorneys for the city say selling the properties is the only solution that could end the battle between the city and the disgraced landlord. The court-appointed property managers of Rashad's property is also asking the court to fine him in contempt. Milwaukee Bucks held their grand opening yesterday for their new arena. Thousands of people were in attendance at the Pfizer Forum for a party at the entertainment complex featuring current and former Milwaukee Bucks players and tours of the new building. Monday, rain ending this morning, partly sunny this afternoon, highs in the upper 80s. For Real Resistance Radio, I'm Keith Gosted.
Ass, grass, or cash, nobody rides for free. Tom and Crute are the Devil's Advocates.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show, the happy hour. It continues, and we promised the audience that we're going to answer the question, Paul Ryan, does he have any decency? Certainly no courage. This piece, Fred Wertheimer, something like that. Fred will forgive me, I feel quite confident. President Donald Trump recently compared special counsel Robert Mueller, a public servant of unwavering integrity and impeccable reputation, to the late demagogic Republican senator from Wisconsin, Joe McCarthy. Of course, the ludicrous comparison leaves out that no one in modern U.S. political history recalls Senator McCarthy more than President Trump. But beyond that, it's not Trump or Mueller whose situation evokes a McCarthy comparison at the moment. It's House Speaker Paul Ryan. Why? Recall that in 1954, Senator McCarthy faced and failed a famous sense of decency moment. In a nationally televised Senate hearing, McCarthy attacked Fred Fisher, a young lawyer in the law firm representing the U.S. Army. McCarthy's latest target in his years-long demagogic and unsuccessful hunt for communists in the government. Fisher had been briefly associated in law school with the National Lawyers Guild, an organization thought to be associated with the Communist Party. Joseph Welch, the law firm's counsel, attacked McCarthy's cruelty and recklessness. He then delivered the coup de grace, saying, "Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency?" Fisher went on to become the president of the Massachusetts Bar Association, and McCarthy's reputation was destroyed, and his career ultimately ended. Which brings us to House Speaker Paul Ryan. In January, Speaker Ryan's 20-year career in Congress will come to an end. feel like we should have some applause, some confetti or something. Next month, Republican Representatives Mark Meadows from North Carolina and Jim Jordan from Ohio, both leaders of the Freedom Caucus, are expected to press Speaker Ryan to bring to the House floor their resolution to hold Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein in contempt of Congress for his failure to turn over documents tied to the Russia investigation. Back in May, despite threats of impeachment, Rosenstein was adamant that the Justice Department was not going to be extorted. And here is where Speaker Ryan will get his decency test.
Does he stand up for Rosenstein, a highly regarded public official with a long, successful, and respected career in law enforcement? Or does Ryan schedule a House floor vote on a meritless and politically motivated resolution to hold Rosenstein in contempt of Congress?
Wait, before we move on, what do you think it is? What do you think the answer, Dom? Will he schedule the floor vote? Talking about Paul Ryan, it will be at his control, at his discretion. Does he bring this contempt of Congress action to the floor for a vote?
It's a 50-50, but if I had to take some bets, I would
burn in hell forever.
I remain hopeful. I mean, to the end, man. Right before, McCain not on his death, but thumbs down at the end.
I thought you were the atheist here.
I am.
I find myself being the agnostic, apparently.
But I'd like to think that he would not allow it to come forward.
I bet he will. I'm betting against the Speaker. I'm betting against.
Rosenstein, who oversees the Russia investigation, has been under relentless attack for months by President Trump and his House loyalists. The goal of these attacks is clear: to discredit, cripple, and if possible, kill the Russia investigation. As part of this effort, Meadows and Jordan were among GOP leaders that recklessly filed articles of impeachment against Rosenstein just before the House left for its August recess. The alleged grounds, quote-unquote, for impeachment were Rosenstein's failure to comply with a Republican House committee subpoena requesting the Russia probe documents. The Justice Department has a long-standing policy of not releasing these kinds of investigative documents in the middle of a criminal investigation. Doing so could compromise the investigation if the information reaches the individuals under investigation. A particular danger here, as President Trump and Rep. Meadows reportedly are key allies. Nevertheless, in an effort to be as accommodating as possible, Rosenstein and the Justice Department have been providing the House with numerous documents from the Russia investigation. To his credit, Speaker Ryan opposed the impeachment effort and noted that the House had made tremendous progress in getting the Justice Department to provide the documents it wanted. So far, so good. Meadows and Jordan ultimately dropped their impeachment gambit and instead asserted that they would pursue a contempt of Congress resolution against Rosenstein in early September if all the documents Republicans have subpoenaed are not received by the start of the month. According to a published report, Meadows claimed Ryan had agreed to this approach. The Speaker is willing to support Judiciary Chairman Bob Goodlatte in a contempt process if the agreed-upon documents are not delivered, quote-unquote. The impeachment resolution was nothing more than an empty threat. In the 229-year history of the Constitution, Congress has never impeached a sub-cabinet official, such as a deputy attorney general. When Meadows and Jordan tried this reckless act in 2016 against IRS Commissioner John Koskinen, their baseless impeachment resolution offered was overwhelmingly defeated by a bipartisan vote of 342 to 72. However, if a contempt of Congress resolution against Rosenstein for failing to comply with Republicans' subpoena is brought to the floor, it might just pass on a party line vote. If that were to happen, the contempt resolution would serve the same purpose as articles of impeachment. It would give President Trump cover to remove Rosenstein from his job and replace him with a Trump loyalist to take control and kill the Russia investigation. This is what the Meadows and Jordan effort against Rosenstein is really about. Ryan will face his sense of decency moment in September. He can end his career in Congress on a high note, preserve his integrity, and show his sense of decency by blocking the effort by Meadows and Jordan to slander and stain Rosenstein's reputation and record of public service. Or he can leave an indelible black mark on his reputation by enabling a contempt of Congress resolution against Rosenstein to be voted on and passed, and demonstrate that, like Senator McCarthy, Ryan has no sense of decency.
Yeah, that's where I put my money. No sense of decency. You let Trump become the president. You've allowed Devin Nunes to...
How does Ryan let that happen?
I'll explain on the other side of this break. I can't tell you in 30 seconds or less. But the fact that Devin Nunes, that Paul Ryan has allowed him in this chair position, recused, unrecused. I mean, he's as bad as Jeff Sessions. Come back, more Devil's Advocates. Join us on the phones, 844-967-2789.
I want to thank the President of the United States for his steadfast leadership.
Well, we wish him well. He worked very hard.
I'm really proud of what we've been able to do.
What would you say you do here?
Nothing! Absolutely nothing!
Scott Walker thinks Wisconsin should once again hire him as governor.
You wouldn't hire me to be a neurosurgeon.
This is a person who has not worked in the private sector since 1993.
You wouldn't hire me to run condos. You wouldn't hire me to run HP.
And has made his political career.
You probably wouldn't hire me to run the United States Senate.
By using divisive tactics to the benefit of his corporate donors.
The first step is we're going to deal with collective bargaining for all public employee unions. Because you divide and conquer.
Now he supports the largest publicly funded government subsidy of a foreign corporation in American history.
You know, they can go suck lemons.
And Scott Walker has yet to live up to his first campaign promise to create 250,000 jobs.
Is this a campaign promise? Something you want to be held to?
Absolutely.
Scott Walker, we the people are done sucking your lemons. This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14.
13?
We took a left on Carroll Street. Danny's smart, but he gets distracted. He realized he forgot his homework. I hope he doesn't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
The Devil's Advocates.
James Santel, he's a former U.S. attorney. He's our guest live on Brady.
Once again, a pleasure to be with you, gentlemen, to talk about the latest news breaking as we speak.
The FBI raided Michael Cohen, Trump's personal attorney, but once they got there, then they went back and got a more thorough warrant and said, we'll take everything.
My first reaction is you need to teach criminal constitutional law. You've got it just right in terms of the process.
They are kind of a big deal.
This is a really big deal.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
You wanted to see me?
Yes, please, have a seat. So here's the thing. When this company brought you on, we took a chance on you. You didn't have that 4-year college degree we typically look for.
Right.
But we gave you a shot anyway. And since then, you've worked incredibly hard and given it your all.
Thanks.
You've been an important asset to the team, but I don't think you can be an intern here anymore. We want to hire you.
You're serious?
Absolutely.
Find your next great employee. Introduce yourself to the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
I won't let you down.
I know.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
Indoor baseball, anyone?
Most party fouls are pretty dumb, but if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Learn more at ultimatepartyfoul.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
5/9, your local single-source IT solutions provider. Specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy 59s.com.
The Devil's Advocates, because freedom.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show. Last segment of the day. So if you've got something to say, now is your time, your opportunity. Exercise your free speech at 844-967-2789.
Dominic, I posted a little video, non-political in nature, yesterday. Rain to beat hell in Middleton. I'm like 6 blocks from Lake Mendota, all downhill. And I mean, it was whitewater in the gullies last night. I was quite concerned that the rapid rainfall was going to raise the Lake Mendota levels, and Tinney Park dock, or the dam, I guess, it's not the docks, that would be problematic. But if the dam breaks, it's going to be a big problem. Like 1,200 additional properties entered and warned that they're subject to flooding. And I saw the governor of the state of Wisconsin out seeking a photo op over the weekend. First of all, I might point out, his hair has never looked worse.
No, it's terrible.
I mean, now he's got the full bald spot in the back, the cabinet injury.
It's been progressing over the years, and still jet black hair, so it like stands out even worse.
But now he's got like a river running from the part, like there's a big gap part now. And I don't have great hair, but I never faked it. I never blamed it on the wife or a cabinet injury. Mine was earned. I pulled this hair out.
Yeah.
But Scott Walker's got, the big bald spot. Now he's got the big river. And this weekend, he was photo opping. Went down and he filled in a couple of sandbags. And Tonette, and, God bless the first lady of the great state of Wisconsin, was kind of sitting there, and she was like the bag opener. And Scott's BSing and BSing. I'm like, is he actually going to ever fill a bag? I was watching video of the event, and a guy standing there, and I might add, there was one fine Wisconsinite, one fine Minnesotan, I suspect.
Thank you, sir.
Holding a sign that basically had a line through Scott Walker's head. I think it said something like photo op.
And mentioned climate change.
Oh, yes, climate change.
What?
We don't believe in science. At least Scott Walker does not believe in science. But anyways, maybe filled a sandbag, maybe one. And you pointed out, well, Tony Evers filled in some sandbags.
Yeah, I mean, this is both gubernatorial candidates were filling sandbags in Madison. I mean, isn't that what politics, isn't that what they do? Right? And if he wasn't there filling sandbags, we'd be critical of him. And the Dems and the Republican, both candidates there filling sandbags. I mean, I get it, man. I mean, it's a photo op, but it's a photo op for whatever politician shows up and does it.
I mean, the National Guard guys that showed up, and there were lots of volunteers in the Madison area. Yeah. My understanding is 150,000 sandbags got filled in place by volunteers in like a 12-hour period over the weekend. And Scott Walker, he threw a good solid 1, maybe 2 sandbags in. And the first lady, she struggled to open that first sandbag. And then she squished it down a little bit. Nothing like him standing there with half a shovel of dirt and her sitting there. And they're talking.
Yeah, they're obviously not used to doing manual labor.
There was, yes.
There was no...
he didn't look laborious.
There's no dexterity in filling up the sandbag for Governor Walker.
I don't think the man's ever had a private sector job, has he? He doesn't even have his own house. I'm sure he's not cleaning out the gutters on the governor's mansion. All he does from the governor's mansion is run presidential campaigns.
Nice. But Crudy, listen, he's going to get grief either way, right? Because if he doesn't show up, he's not doing his job and whatever.
Well, if you show up, throw your back into it. Do a little work. Don't show up for a photo op.
If you're gonna show up, bring a crew. I mean, you're gonna tell me as governor you couldn't.
What about Matt and Alex, right?
Right. I mean, make some phone calls. Hey, everybody, this is some serious stuff. Yeah, we're gonna be a photo op, but let's get some work done here. Let's make something happen. Let's contribute to the solution, at least the short-term solution. Let's not talk about climate change, but show up with 50 people.
I didn't see him throw in his. Scott Walker, you think, right? Political figure, well known amongst the state of Wisconsin.
Yes.
What if Scott Walker had made a call out, done a live stream, some sort of video, and just said, hey, meet me down at Tenny Park, and I'll stay as long as you stay. How about this?
I'd love that.
We'll give 3. And then, grudgingly, I might have to say, you know what? At least he threw his back in it. Yeah. At least he was out there helping the people. It's more than Dom did this weekend, and honestly, more than I did.
You know, I'm an Eagle Scout.
I wasn't around, man. I was out of town.
Kelsey in town. I was mostly Uber driving around all weekend. No excuse, though.
But the danger for Governor Walker in doing that, if he made a public proclamation, if he did a little selfie video and threw it up on the socials and called for people to show up.
Grudgingly declared a state of emergency, Dom.
And if nobody showed up, you know, that'd be terribly bad for him.
Well, he can't turn on a crowd. I know he never does any sort of mass rallies because he wouldn't attract a crowd. And some might be protesters, and I guess the point made this weekend when his photo op was photobombed by literally a protester. But then do some freaking work. You know what? Even the protester would have grudgingly had to put down his sign and help you, but you weren't doing anything. You didn't do any work.
Did we take inventory? Do we know how many sandbags the governor filled? I mean,
I was watching the videotape in about 5 minutes, 1.5. 1.5.
Videotape? Was that VHS or beta? Old man.
Shut up.
844-967-2789.
Don't make me hurt you. You've been sandbagging your whole career, man. Different sort of sandbagging.
I'm just getting ready to turn it on. Pizza Box Mike, hey, you're up. Thanks for calling. Welcome back. What do you got, my friend?
Hey, Michael.
Yeah, and Walker was there to hopefully watch Madison get washed away. He hates Madison. He can't stand. You know what? It was worse in Gays Mills. I went down there, and he did his little flyover. He never talked to one person on Main Street, all the businesses, everything. I went and talked to everybody. Not that they really wanted to talk
Looked
to him.
Looked a lot like George W. after Katrina, didn't he, for a while?
Yeah, well, even people that voted for him didn't want to talk to him after that. It was amazing. But, you know, hasn't Walker sandbagged us enough? By the way, I was doing my route this morning. It looks like they're getting ready for a couple of – it's like a Western. Like these 3 guys are coming back from prison and they're going to kill the whole town. It's like there's sandbags everywhere. I had to move some of them to make some of my deliveries and then move them back again. But, yeah, this is kind of weird watching Madison flood. But, hey, don't worry about it, man. Things are looking up. Only 88% of the Republicans still support Trump after the McCain thing. Isn't that something?
It is.
And 8 convictions and 8 pleadings of guilt, and Donald Trump's approval rating is solid as a rock, you know, at the 33% it's been.
Oh, the only thing Hillary's ever been right about, calling these people deplorable. She was right.
I don't know, Michael. While I agree with her, I thought it was possibly one of the galvanizing moments of the elective cycle. I think she gave the Trump supporters, she basically called them out, and they used it as a point of rallying.
Well, you know what? We should all be calling them out at this point, you know. And you know how I felt about Hillary, but these people are disgusting, man. They're worse than she is. You know what? Trump makes GW look like Hillary right now.
Well, I'd say this though, Pizza Box. Trump has not yet invaded a country. I mean, a lot more people died under George Bush's presidency than so far under Trump's.
Yeah, but we haven't uninvaded yet. So, you know, just because it's scaled down, give him time, man. This guy's an idiot. We could see something happen worse in this country than all the other countries we've been fighting. Just hang on, man.
Yeah, talking about the tail wagging the dog, I've got great fear of what Donald Trump may do to try and deflect from the Mueller indictments or the Mueller report or, you know, Don Jr.'s conviction. One of those events could really set this man off, and he does have the codes.
Hey, Pizza Box,
hey, That's why all the Republicans, like, Lindsey Graham and all the other clowns, Grassley and everybody else that are, sucking up to this guy, is because they know if he goes, he's taking everybody that he can with him, and that means all of them should go anyway. Let it run its course. Just like a flood, man. Let it run its course.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to get your impression. What's your take on the passing of John McCain?
Like I said, you know what? I mean, the guy believed in at least what he was doing, and he was acting as a patriot. He was a family guy, dedicated to his family. Trump used deferments. He's a three-family guy, has no respect for this country. He's a damn traitor. At least McCain, no. Look, the guy would have been a hero if he wouldn't have been a Republican. How's that?
Three families? Pizza Box, you're not counting the new Trump baby mama. The housekeeper, as the doorman, apparently was ready to go public with, and the National Enquirer caught and killed that one. And now he's talking publicly. Apparently another Trump baby out there in the world. I suspect there might be several.
That'll just bring more supporters. Brings more supporters. Everything the guy does makes it worse, and they just love him that much more. This is disgusting.
Pizza Box, we love you all the more. I've heard that Donald Trump's being advised by legal counsel, go out there and admit that you've got many mistresses that you've paid off through the course of years, and this is a normal course of business for you. And at least it wouldn't be perceived to be campaign finance violations.
Just another day in the office.
And apparently Trump has rejected that. I mean, Melania knows. I got to tell you, Donald, Melania knows. She knows you're a creep. She's just waiting for you to get out of the White House so she can divorce your ass. She's going to be very disappointed when she finds out he's not really worth all the money he's been claiming.
Here, honey, here's half my debt.
That's how I plan on going out. Thank you to all our fine guests today, including Tony Evers, the next governor of the great state of Wisconsin, Dr. Katherine Gaulke, a candidate in Wisconsin's 32nd Assembly District, and our pal Sarah Pearson, co-founder and co-chair Women's March Wisconsin. Thank you all for listening. Dom, you're doing it without me tomorrow, and then maybe we're all doing it without ourselves on Wednesday. Very confusing week. Catching last vacations, all that kind of stuff. I'll be back Thursday and Friday, Harley Week, Labor Day weekend. Have a great night. Dom without Crudy tomorrow.
Do you know who I am?
Mike, that's a very good question.
Guy, Mike, somebody?
Hi, I'm Becky from Bounce Milwaukee, and I want to be the first to invite you to our newest attraction, axe throwing at Fling Milwaukee. Bring your friends, date, co-workers, or family to experience the rush of throwing axes at Milwaukee's first